Surrealism in games is weird. One of the main types of media that make you most connected and submerged in a world, story, or environments is definitively games. Games have the power to make you an actual character in the world built, to make you feel actually worried for the people you meet and what fate you encounter, to make you feel things in general. In indie games, this is even stronger, because on the majority of the time, games made by common people like you and me are filled with heart, soul, and hard work. A lot of times they end up sucking, but a lot of times they don't. And the perfect way to escape the normal and not that interesting reality you live in is to dive into a universe filled with nonsense, weird, and surreal forms. Ambient songs, noises, and an ambience different from anything you ever saw before. Today, we will dive into the world of surreal games. And my friends, this will be very interesting. Hello, it's me again. As I said before, on this video, we will be navigating on a very interesting and unique side of the indie game industry, the surrealist and abstract junk. And to start, why not take a look at one of the games that pretty much started this stuff. Dream LSD Emulator. That is not only one of my favorite illicit products, but it's also a game created by Osamu Sato, and it will be the first one we'll be talking about today. But before that, an important thing to say is fucking help me! Leave a like, a comment, and if you enjoyed this video, maybe even subscribe. I'm being serious, don't just ignore this as a generic YouTuber warning. I'm a beginner channel, and every little kind of help you can give me really makes a difference. So now, let's do this. Okay, this is probably one of the most weird and experimental ones to be shown here. As I said, created by the artist and musician Osamu Sato, it is a PS1 game different from anything I ever saw before. On this game, you do pretty much nothing but walk and stare at the absolute psychedelic craziness that are the places present on it. Going from what seems to be villages full of houses to, whatever the hell this is. As I said before, you don't really have a clear objective in this game. You are here purely to explore this vast and abstract landscape and feel all the bizarre feelings they can provide. I sometimes can't even look at this project as really a game, and way more as an experience or art project. Because of course, experiencing and feeling is what this game is all about. There is no goal, there is no story, there are just feelings. One other thing to talk about here is that Osamu Sato isn't really a game dev. I mean, he is since he made a game, but he's mostly an artist, and making a game was a way to pass his art to another format. And he made that mostly through the music. And my friends, the Dream LSD soundtrack is completely crazy. First of all, what the fuck? All the songs have exactly 3 minutes and 1 second, like, why the fuck would anyone do this? But now, let's actually talk about the music. That is really good, despite being totally crazy. A lot of times they're really quiet and ambient, like this one. Sometimes they don't make any sense, like this one. And sometimes they are extremely energetic and even kinda goofy and comic because of the use of sounds similar to human voices and stupid cartoonish sound effects. And a lot of times, they are absolute bangers. There's one fact that maybe can help you to understand why this game is the way it is. That is that this game is inspired and based on a real dream diary. And let's be honest, dreams don't really tend to make sense a lot of the times though. Alright, so now let's switch to a game that isn't so abstract and that actually has a story and characters. Let's talk about my favorite game of all time, Off. I absolutely love this game, and I even made a full video dedicated to it. If you want to watch it, and you definitively want it, it will be on a card popping out right now somewhere at the screen. So if you enjoy this video, check it out later. Off is a game created and developed by Marty's Ghost, and also by Elias Conrad Coldwood, who made the soundtrack. It was originally just released in French on 2008, if I'm not mistaken, but it ended up just getting recognized more on 2011 when it got translated to English. And this game is really just something else. It mixes the absolute nonsense and ambience from games like Dream LSD and even Humaniki, for example. That is also an RPG Maker game, and that also kind of falls into the psychedelic side of the things. But what differentiates the vibe Off has from any other abstract game is that everything here actually feels way more melancholic and sad. 90% of the NPCs that you talk are these elven guys that are hopeless, awkward, and easily manipulated beings. They are pretty much used by these guys that are appearing on the screen right now as nothing but workers. And talking about them, one thing that I would really like to mention here is how good the designs are, especially from Data. They are all very menacing and really good. The landscape and building here are all very blocky and simple, not having a lot of details, actually not having any details, and having solid colors like this. Even though on paper it sounds a bit lazy, it actually ends up looking really nice and collaborating to make everything seem more weird. Despite this world being different from anything we really experienced, the game really succeeds in setting you inside it. You feel fully immersed and consumed by this whole distinct universe. And I just realized that I didn't even talk about the main characters here. On this game you control the Better, who is a very curious figure. He isn't a guy of many words, and he's usually even kinda rude. He fully believes that he's on a mission to purify the world and get rid of these creatures that are making this world impure. You will here find characters such as Dayton, the guy I mentioned earlier, who's a muscular asshole, the judge, who at the start guides you and explains how this world really works, and is a very elegant guy, Enoch, Valerie, and a lot more. Another very important part of OFF is its soundtrack, that as I mentioned was entirely made by Elias, and my friends, this guy managed to make a masterpiece of an OFF soundtrack is full of ambient electronic sounds, electronic drums, unusual noises, and sounds you usually don't see in music, but that actually worked really well here. And something very interesting too is that checking some of Elias' newer works, we can still see some of the OFF vibe and that style he had. Like, the dude is really good, I recommend it a lot. Hylics is another great example of this kind of game, cause it's pretty much a fusion between the previous two. It's on the middle of being absolute nonsensical and abstract, but it has some kind of story going on, so it's not a straight up just random. First, let's talk about the most obvious thing, and the fact that you probably noticed too, that is that this game looks fucking awesome. And the way the graphics were made is extremely different and creative. The creator of the game, Mason Lindroth, that I don't know how to pronunciate, that is a great artist by the way, grabbed some clay and actually modeled the elements needed on real life, took photos, even made stop motion animation, added colors and effects, and created this absolute masterpiece of a look. Seriously, this game graphics is just cool as fuck. One of the best ones from any RPG Maker game. And yeah, this game is RPG Maker. I think you guys noticed that I like RPG Maker games now. Oh, and I have a couple videos on RPG Maker games, so if you enjoy this one, consider checking them out too. Another interesting part of this game is definitively all the interactions with the NPCs on it, which a lot of the times are simply random words thrown together like, I don't really know how to interpret whatever the hell go to plastic biscuit means. They are funny a lot of the times actually, and since they don't really make any sense as you notice, it all makes the surrealist feeling even stronger. I think Hylics is probably the most surreal game I talked about on this video. The other two were pretty much psychedelic and abstract. Another aspect of this game that is extremely important and that I need to talk about here is the music on it. The music here varies from some very nice and smooth electronic synths to some insanely good jazzy, bluesy, rocky guitar. There is literally a track called Distorted Guitar that is just a distorted guitar. So yeah, I think this is pretty much what I have to talk about Hylics superficially. If you enjoyed this video, every week there is a new video on this channel, but while it doesn't come, consider checking out my other videos that I posted here. I recommend to you right now the one about some bizarre games that I never showed before. It's on the card popping out somewhere on the screen too. So leave a like on the video, a comment, and as I said, if you enjoy my content, keep around. I'm sure you won't regret it. So now... Okay, so apparently I just said so now and forgot to say goodbye, because in the end of all of my videos I always say so now, goodbye, and I forgot to say goodbye. What the fuck? How does the mind of a guy like this even fucking work? Oh, and it's me, low quality man again. Did you guys miss me? If you didn't understand who the fuck I am, you probably didn't watch some of my other feeds, so as I said, check them out. So now... Nah, just kidding. So now, goodbye.